Welcome, family, to another edition of Stranger Thinking Media. This is Yeshayahu, where we bring you the gospel of Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, to address the problems of a modern world. So stay tuned. We have an awesome show for you today. Kick back, dig while we do it to you in 3D. So groovy that I dig me. Here to put a glide in your stride and a dip in your hip and come on to the mothership. Swing down, sweet chariot, and stop and let me ride. Chariots of fire. Today's agenda: curses, the evil eye, the big payback, how it all began, vengeance, eye for an eye, forgiveness. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Now kick back, family. I got an awesome video for you. Mr. Chris Rock. I think you guys know the story by now. Let's get it on.
I took that hit like Pacquiao.
Almost a year after actor Will Smith slapped him on stage at the Oscars, Saturday night comedian Chris Rock hit back hard.
Y'all know what happened to me, getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows. I got summertime ringing in my ear.
Rock performing in Baltimore at his sold-out show titled Selective Outrage, for the first show ever streamed live on Netflix.
I'ma try to do a show tonight without offending nobody.
I'm ready to hear his perspective.
I want to laugh my off.
Fans anticipating for months whether he would forgive and forget about being assaulted by Smith with the world watching, or go on the offensive and unleashing his revenge. In the closing minutes of his one-hour show, Rock gave his answer.
Nobody's picking on this bitch. She started this. And a lot of people go, Chris, how come you didn't do nothing back? I got parents. And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor favor to the young.
This is the first time most of the public is hearing from Rock after the controversial incident at last year's Academy Awards.
Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
When some say he crossed the line as the Oscars presenter, joking about Will Smith's wife, Jada's, shaved head.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kine, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
Despite Smith's multiple apologies, the hurt and humiliation felt by Rock seemed palpable Saturday night.
I got smacked in the Oscars by this and people like, did it hurt? It still hurts.
Chris Rock played the long game, and he got the last word, and those words were hilarious.
Stand-up comedians like Ariel Elias say Rock's performance was about taking back his agency.
When something traumatic happens to you, you get to handle it however you want as long as you're not hurting other people. I think there's something so smart about going, all right, I had this live moment that was not in my control, that everybody watched, that was humiliating for me. So now I'm gonna make another live moment that everybody's gonna watch, showing me having the power again. I think that's such a smart move.
We hope this presentation has been enlightening and helpful to you. If you support the gospel and the spreading of the truth, we ask you to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Also, hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date. Now back to the show. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children which he shall leave.
You didn't feel comfortable with the last bit of the show.
I will always look at this as a squandered opportunity to Chris Rock to take the higher road, to look at this and teach us all a lesson in forgiveness. I'm not asking for kumbaya, but I think getting personal, talking about a marriage's infidelity issues, granted, they are out publicly about that, but it's still a bit of a low blow. And I think calling her the B word was completely inappropriate, out of line.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh from out between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear. Now, in this time of grace, a lot of people are taught that if you commit a sin and you're in Christ, all you have to do is ask for forgiveness, and the Most High will forgive you in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, right? And I think we all understand that. But what we seem to have forgotten is that there are still consequences to our actions. Is that, yeah, the Most High may forgive you, but say, for instance, all of a sudden they said stop signs were no longer to be legally enforced. There's grace. Now, you keep running that stop sign because you can. You get across 100 times, across that intersection 100 times, and, you might find yourself lucky. But it'll be that one time where that tractor trailer is barreling through the intersection. You fly through the stop sign, and guess what? Cancel Christmas, right? Cancel Christmas. But anyway, there is judgment. There's judgment now, and there's judgment at the end. The judgment at the end, if you invoke the blood of the Messiah, then yes, the Most High will forgive you. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a price to pay right now. And for those of you who say, only God can judge me, well, I seem to remember reading the Apostle Paul saying to the called out assembly, know ye not that ye shall judge angels? Just understand, judgment is a righteous thing. Everything gets judged. So if you commit sin, there will be judgment. It's just not necessarily eternal judgment, but there's a price to pay. And so for the believer, you are to judge. You are even to judge your brother. But just remember this, with what measure ye meet, it shall be met back to you. So before you sit down to take the cinder out of your brother's eye, make sure you take the beam, the log, out of your own eye so you can see clearly to do it. And it remains to be seen whether Chris Rock in this situation is clean. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even. And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now, this term Egypt literally that's a Greek term, but the literal translation comes from the Hebrew word Mitzrayim. And Mitzrayim was the son of Ham, the son of Noah. And Mitzrayim literally means rocky place, besieged, captivity. So literally, this term Mitzrayim, or translated here Egypt, literally means captivity, caught between a rock and a hard place, bondage. It literally means that. So the translation is actually, and the Lord shall bring thee into captivity again, literally by definition, by the etymology of the word. And then when you get to the end of the sentence where it says, and no man shall buy thee, that really means, and no man shall redeem thee. If you remember, the old custom was that if your family member had sold himself into slavery or servitude, employment, essentially, that a family member could redeem thee, buy you back out of slavery. So what Yah is saying here is that when I send you into slavery and bondage, there'll be no one to redeem you, because the people who would have redeemed you, they also are in servitude and slavery. Well, family, I'll say farewell again. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for continually supporting my content. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, and share this with your friends and family. I'm sure they would find it interesting as well. I'm very excited to continue this journey with you. I thank you for bringing certain stories to my attention and for continually keeping me updated with certain events around the world. I very much appreciate you all. And shout out to the channel members. You guys are great. May everybody have a beautiful and blessed day who's in the body of Messiah, Yahusha HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ of Nazareth. And I'll see you on the next video. Shalom.